Hi, thanks for spending some time with me today. We're looking at C-sharp minor, Etude number 12 in Charlie Porter's Lyrical Etudes book. I'm really starting to like these more and more. Thanks again, Charlie, for your creative musical imagination. But I like them because they help keep my playing sharp. And they're really challenging, but they also have a lot of musical opportunity. And I hope you can hear some of that as I play through. I'm going to do something a little bit different today and play, I'm going to try it first on C trumpet. A little cold. Okay. And then I'm going to switch to flugelhorn. So here's Etude number 12 from Charlie Porter's Lyrical Etudes. Now that's short, but there's an awful lot going on, right? If you try and play this, if you're like me, you're going to run into some difficulties. I actually practiced this one a little bit because I needed to in order to do a good performance of it for you, and hopefully that was something that you could enjoy apart from the craftsmanship. You can enjoy just the Charlie's musical imagination coming through, combined with my musical imagination as I try and feel what he's doing. Now I'm going to switch to flugelhorn. A little story about this. This is a quinone, a vintage quinone that a good friend of mine and former student, Lou Anderson, works at Virtuosity Music in Boston, among other places. Worked for many years for Shires. He found this horn for me and he thought, oh, Steve would like this horn. It's a very special instrument. It's not easy to play, and I'm not used to playing flugelhorn. And switching back and forth is something that I've been doing recently because I found that changing the mouthpieces, changing the horns, changing the cornet, playing D trumpet a little bit, maybe piccolo trumpet, B flat trumpet. And now I realize that many of you don't have that opportunity. But even just putting a mute in the horn can give you some variety. And what it does is it helps you to learn how to adapt and still get the music across. So lest I start to lecture again, as I am customarily do, I'm just going to try and play through this on flugelhorn. I got to remember, it's in B flat, not in C. Okay, here we go. Now, of course, that feels really different. And a lot of the things that we do when we pick up a different horn or a different mouthpiece, try a different mouthpiece, and most of us have done that for sure, is that we notice a different feel. We might not be able to describe exactly what it is. We kind of like the impression that we're getting. Either it feels physically better, more comfortable, more fun to play, or our ears hear something that we like. It's like something about the quality of the sound, or maybe if we're getting a little bit more analytical in a good way is like, oh, the response is much better, or this one plays better in tune. This flugelhorn is very difficult to play for me, and I'm trying to get used to it, which is one reason why I wanted to use it today. Maybe I'm going to use it on a few more episodes if I get around to them today. But I want to give you folks something that you can take away from this. So it doesn't matter what horn or what mouthpiece you're playing. You're really trying to do the same thing. First, for me, it's you're trying to find the music. And this, I feel like this piece is mostly gesture. And it's a repetitive gesture. I was practicing this, and my wife is at the other end of the house, and she said, you just keep playing the same lick over and over again. And that's because that shape comes back over and over again. So let's see what we can do with that. Now, that in itself is going to be a challenge for some people. I enjoyed this. In other words, if that gives me trouble, I can hear the music I want to play, and I say, well, I need to get better at doing that. Now, I might not spend my time working on this particular etude. I know that maybe I need to work on larger intervals, fifth, sixth, seventh octaves and more, in order to get so that they're fun to do. And I know from Charlie's writing and from listening to him play that large intervals are fun for Charlie. Another great player who I've done some episodes on from his books, The Beast, Matt Franke, is also a guy who likes large intervals. I'm trying to like them, and I like the musical effect, so it is what it is. The challenge here is pretty simple, and you get some really good directions. Charlie says, long crescendi and decrescendi combined with intricate lines that span nearly 2 octaves present some challenging passage work. So what I do is I deconstruct this. So it's just a way of practicing, and I'll give you a little bit of that today. I try and give you a little bit of that every time I do a video. First off, people see pianissimo at the beginning, and then it's pianissimo for a bar, and then it gradually starts to crescendo up to mezzo forte. And I hope I showed that a little bit. So one way I work is I say, well, where do I want to start? And since I'm not used to playing the flugelhorn, and the sound of the flugelhorn is so big compared to the trumpet. Trumpet is much more focused, compact quality of sound. It just feels like it has a different dimension to it. Flugelhorn is big, right? And that's what we like about it. So when I play that, I hear a lot of and my tendency is to try and control that big voice to make it small, and so I can play pianissimo. And that really just doesn't work. So the first thing I do is I find the pianissimo so that it feels like it has the right attitude on this horn. I forgot to mention, a lot of trigger action here. This is not fun for me. It's a little bit awkward, but you got to play all those C sharps in tune. That's another challenge. So there's a lot of technical craft, trumpet craft going on here. Don't let that dissuade you from trying to play the music. Just take your time and one thing at a time. Here, see if you can get a beautiful sound on piano and feel comfortable with it. Now, mezzo forte should be kind of our happy place for most players, but not necessarily in the lower register. So I want to feel where those notes are and what they taste like and what the character of them is musically, without worrying about whether they feel good or not. I'm doing the best I can. I'm trying to find that musical idea. Oh, subito piano. So here we have another crescendo that goes from mezzo forte, then piano, then up to forte in what? 2 bars. And I'll give you a little hint on how to do these. A long time ago, Jerry Schwartz was just coming up as a conductor, and he was one of the guest conductors for the Columbus Symphony when I was playing principal there. We did a Wagner program, and he just the way he dealt with the dynamics and the balance was really, really helpful to me, and I think it really helped us all to play better. You're thinking about the character of the sound, and you're thinking about how it relates to the other sounds around you. All right. Now here it's a solo, so you're relating to the harmony in your imagination. You're relating to as if you were playing it with another person. If you have an opportunity to do this, and you're practicing these, and let's say you're an advanced player, so you can play these pretty well, then try playing it in unison with a good friend. Otherwise, you might get into a fight. Well, you still might get into a fight even with a good friend, but it's to blend your sounds together and to see if you can get that quality and that characteristic of the sound. Now you heard accents, you heard that gradual crescendo. There's an awful lot going on here. So the first thing I do is just, can I get comfortable with this character of the sound and the feeling of the production of that sound, my physical enjoyment of playing the sound, and my sense of control and balance and ease, fun, right? That's why we do this at all the dynamic levels, and then work on the crescendos. Now you can do this same thing just going to a routine exercise. You can do it on a scale. You can do it on a Clark study where you're not changing range all that much. That gives you an opportunity for your body to figure out, how do I get comfortable, how do I get stable, how do I feel like I'm in the flow, and I like what I'm sounding. This takes a lot of work, but it's an enjoyable process. For me, it's kind of like eating. Most of us like food, and so when we taste something that's really like, it's not just the animal physical pleasure. It's for those gourmands out there. It's like it's an art form, and there are all these flavors that are there, and when they're coordinated together and blended together with a clear idea of what's behind them, now you have art, and that's exactly the same way it is with the musical compositions that we play. So. This is a short one. I want to let you go practice it. I have a ton more that I would like to say about it, but I'll leave that for some other etudes, and hopefully, you can take time to look at some of these. I recommend getting a hold of Charlie's books. They're worthwhile, especially for intermediate and advanced players. Aspiring players, college level players, or players that anybody who's trying to improve their playing. Charlie is primarily a jazz improvisationalist, which I think shows up in these etudes. They sound improvisational, and you're going to help your playing no matter what kind of music you play if you try and do what his musical imagination is leading you into here. Okay, go have fun and practice. Enjoy the process. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.